Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second half here of Drop Frames. Danny has departed, and it's time to jump into some news. There's actually a decent, I mean, we can kind of pick and choose the stuff we want to focus on here. I'm just going to go from whatever this is sorted on our games here. Did we talk about the fact that EA has allowed Bioware to make the next Dragon Age a single-player RPG? Because I think that broke like right after the show or last Thursday. I can't recall. But previously, it was planned as a service game. A live service Dragon Age was eventually going to come out, according to Jason Schreier.
I got a theory.
Yeah? Let's hear it.
I got a theory. I think that EA visited Bioware, and if you notice, this came out right around the time where they decided to shut down Anthem permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they said, here's the deal. You guys get one more shot at this.
It's not a bad
I think
theory.
they said, you guys get one more shot at this. That you can, you make Dragon Age whatever you want to do. You do it how you want to. And we'll be back in a couple years to look at it. And if it sucks, you're gone. Because you can't be EA and be pleased with Bioware after Anthem. Like that was PR down the drain, probably millions of dollars overall down the drain. They had to axe the whole game after trying to reboot it and spending all the resources to do that. Like they're just probably like, this is it, man. Like, fine, you make it however you want. But if it's not successful, like, we're done.
Yeah. That's probably
absorb you and just make you inside like we normally do.
That's probably the realistic thing that happened. The positive thing would be like they begged EA to let them do that, and EA was like, okay, maybe.
Maybe it was a more of, you wanted us to do Anthem your way and it failed. Now let us do Dragon Age our way if you want us to succeed. Yeah. And they were like, you know what? Okay, fine. Like you do it how you want to do it, but it better be successful.
Right, with the caveat of like, this better be successful, or you know, we're gonna shrug our shoulders at this, but you could fill in the blank type deal. Yeah. It's probably that's probably somewhere. There's probably truth in that theory for sure. And hopefully it's the test that like Bioware needs, right? Like maybe they come out and they make a fucking killer Dragon Age game, and everyone wins, right? Like Bioware wins, EA wins, and consumers win, because that's what we've all kind of
really hope that's what happens.
Wanted. Yeah. Yeah. So we will see. Hopefully we stop getting the EA developer tour videos and we start seeing actual things come out of that game in the future. But yeah, that was number one. We talked about the Anthem stuff that broke during the show last week. A funny tidbit of news, which I think is just, in a lot of ways, it makes you wonder, like, if PlayStation or Xbox even care because of how much Call of Duty is a system seller. But Activision last week was warning that a standard 500 gigabyte PS4 may no longer fit Call of Duty Warzone, Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare. Kind of insane that one game is going to start filling up half a terabyte of hard drives there. But I guess if you're PlayStation and Xbox,
I think that their game is that good that they should be able, that given the authority, like seriously, PlayStation and Xbox and them should be looking back and being like, no, like you guys, you need to figure something out, because this is not like, this is ridiculous. Well, actually, they're probably like, cool, we can sell bigger hard drives, but
true,
there should still, I mean, that seems so ludicrous, man.
Right.
Especially considering that you have to download it if you want to do digital distribution. So it's kind of like, you know, this isn't a while back where it's like you can install it on your hard drive to go faster. This is like the difference between a lot of people playing the game or not, especially now there's digital consoles out there. So yeah. I wonder if that's going to affect COD though, for all the people that are buying like the digital PS5 and replacing their consoles. If they're going to seriously take a look at that game and be like, you're saying I'd have to delete every game on my console. The only way I can get it on is downloading, and I have to delete everything to play Call of Duty. So in other words, the only game I can play is Call of Duty.
I think the more possible and likely thing, which is also the more fucked up thing, is consumers will buy it, realize that it can't fit on their PS5, PS4, whatever, and then get mad at PlayStation for shipping a small hard drive, and not Activision for having a game with uncompressed audio and uncompressed textures and all that nonsense. That's probably what's going to happen. And then the Twitter wars will tell them, no, it's Activision's. And then that's going to be the dialogue, right? But
I like this in chat. So what's going to happen is Call of Duty is going to start costing about $100 more, and it's going to ship with a voucher for an external hard drive.
nice.
Then you can claim at any common, big retailer.
Samsung.
You just
yeah,
put in your
jump in.
Duty code to ship you a hard drive. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, is there like for a tech noob like me, is there a reason why they do uncompressed?
No, I don't. That's a
Performance.
What was that?
Like you don't
I
have
was talking over you.
It's better performance. Like uncompressed is easier to stream. It makes things faster. So if the data is compressed, then a lot of times they have to spend more time like going through the process of getting the data ready to be displayed. So there are of course ways around that. There's different ways they could do it, and there's different ways they could stream it. Like Chad is saying, the overwhelming response to your question, Zeke, was laziness. But quality and speed is a factor. But there are of course other ways they could do it that would be probably comparable and more complex. But yeah, laziness, TLDR.
Yeah, laziness. Also meaning less money spent developing it in a way, right? Like that would cost more to actually compress that shit and make a proper streaming and all that type of shit. Yeah, it's just, I saw that headline and that was actually crazy. Just absurd that game is as big as it is in terms of a file size. Pokemon does absolutely nothing for the three of us. I'm prefacing this story because the question is, does an open world Pokemon do anything for either of you?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Still not doing it?
I missed it. Like the only exposure I got to Pokemon really was I played Magic the Gathering, and then Pokemon was coming out with the card game. I'm like, I don't want. And then so many people were playing. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a look. And I bought the cards and played for like, I don't know, 6 months here and there. And then I think I gave all my cards to some, which is funny because they're worth hundreds of, maybe even $1,000 now. But I think I gave my cards to some kid, I don't know, at the comic book store that I used to play at or whatever. And then I tried Pokemon Go for a little bit. And that was fun. That was a fun week. That was it.
Sure.
I was done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the exposure I've gotten to Pokemon. Well, I you know what? Honestly, I don't mind watching putting on the speed runs, like the speed runs of like 3 to 4 hour like playthroughs of Yellow or Sword or whatever the fuck their names are now.
Yeah,
they're good background noise, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Co, for you, is it enough to get you to jump in finally, or is it still just kind of like
Nah, I don't think so.
It's still early on.
There's
for sure, but
there's been things and reasons I haven't tried it over the years, and I just don't know if there's really enough there to really make me want to do it. I mean, I may check it out. It could be just like a fun, cozy game, something to hang out with and do in the evenings. But I don't know. As somebody just said in chat, yes, I'm too boomer at this point, so that may be part of it.
You got a 4-year-old. I'm just saying.
I do. That's true. That's very true. We'll have to, if he likes it, then I'll check it out.
Yeah. Does he know what Pokemon are at the moment? Have you? Okay.
No. All the games my oldest son Rowan is exposed to are mostly like tablet games, and they're just educational things. They're play toys. He hasn't really done like much gaming at all. He did stop by the stream and checks out like Stardew Valley and My Time at Porsche every so often, but he doesn't really like do the whole set goals thing and that kind of thing yet. So.
You didn't do the Pokemon brush your teeth game that they put out?
Not yet. No, but we're thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Zeke does that every night. That's how he remembers. It's smart. It's just good business. Yeah. What else is there? Did you guys watch this leaked Elden Ring trailer? I'm not going to show it for anyone wondering. The meme, which is also the real question that I have about this shit, is who has like a fucking 70p footage camera these days. Like, it looks so bad. I don't understand who records this fucking like trailer in this quality. It looks so stupid. It's so bad. Everyone's got high res phones these days. Even if it's a quote bad phone, it's still terrible. But yeah, that thing leaked. Apparently it's an open world Dark Souls game, which has horses in it and like mounted combat. So that was kind of cool. At least whenever this video or trailer was shot, that's what it was. I don't know if that's the case anymore.
I'm gonna wait for whenever they're ready to show it. Like I like cool videos out. Game still exists. Great.
Yeah.
I'll wait until it's something.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone, I think the rumor mill, at least like Jason Schreier's out there saying that it will quote be shown soon. Microsoft, Aaron Greenberg from Microsoft is out there saying that they're not going to be showing it. But it might be from a Namco Bandai show or Bandai Namco show. I think I pulled a Zeke there. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm with you, Co. I'd love to see just a couple more resolutions on it, please, whenever this comes out. So yeah. What else is there? Not necessarily news, but if you guys have not played the Ratchet and Clank series, I don't know if it still is. But it's currently free on the PlayStation Store if you're looking for something to play. It's the 2016 release. It's good. It's a good game. It's free. Go grab it. What else is there? The Final Fantasy stuff happened at that Sony State of Play last week. We got, what is the full name of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade? That's the name of it, which is a PS5 only DLC coming in June, and it's also getting a PS5 update from the PS4 version, which is free. That includes the Ninja. Is it Yuffie? Yuffie is too close to some sort of other thing that's probably illegal in some states. So don't look that up. But that's a thing. And then you guys see there's a Final Fantasy VII Remake Battle Royale for mobile devices. Did you guys watch that trailer?
Yes.
No.
It's a little weird. There was a joke the other day that I saw flying around of like Square needs money. And then there's like a business guy that just says, "Get me Sephiroth." Like that's how they started printing money. It's not far from the truth.
Pretty much exactly what it is, I think.
Yeah. So that's a thing. It looks cool. The DLC looks like it's, of that quality, looks fun. The video they put out showing the comparison and the update to the PS5 version looks good. It will be a better version of that game, which I'm all for. It's also free if you already own it, which is also great. So that'll be cool. The rest of that state of play was not all that interesting. They showed Kona, I think is the name of it, which is that like Pixar style indie looking game. They showed a little bit more, or Kena, not Kona. They showed a little bit of that, and then there really wasn't anything super new. I don't think there was any like super big news for that. Sifu, which I saw you tweet about that, Co, which is from the Absolver guys. Oh, that Kung Fu game.
Sifu was awesome.
Yeah. I'll pull up footage of that real quick, because I think that was like the big stuff.
That game looks badass. And what's even cooler is when you watch the trailer, it's by the Absolver guys.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing the Absolver guys did like really well, it's that they designed this like crazy complex melee combo flow system thing. So I'm hoping that when watching Sifu, like, I think we're seeing that in action. I think we're seeing a variant of the Absolver system in action, which could mean that game could be great. By the way, for everyone asking what's going on with my mic, we have no idea. This has been going on since the show pretty much started. Like,
yeah,
me and Zeke just cut out.
If I talk over Co, it'll dip him out every once in a while. Yeah. So it's on me, ultimately.
Whatever.
Where's that trailer? Have you seen this, Zeke?
I heard it was possible to grow your beard out by just like kind of like
Fighting?
really concentrating on it. I didn't know it was a real thing though.
I think you have to just start fighting people and your beard will grow as well. I think that's the problem.
That's
Lord
like, it's
knows,
kind of
I get in a lot of fights.
Like, it's kind of weird because like that trailer, it looks like the guy gets killed and then comes back, but like it's almost like he keeps like losing and aging or something, and then at the end he's like actually an old dude. So it's kind of like, what is this game going to be about? How's this going to work? How's this going to play into it? But regardless, it looks really cool, and I know I am completely on board with that one.
Yeah, I agree. That was probably one of the bigger things to come out of that besides the Final Fantasy. I mean, they closed with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, so that was like their big bang. Sifu was in the center of it.
Sifu means master in Mandarin.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Cool. Didn't know that.
Cool.
All right. Zeke, please introduce us to the sinking city and all of the drama over the past 3 days. Go ahead.
Okay, so what's going on with Sinking City? I have no fucking clue.
I tried to follow this story, and then I finished following the story, and then more.
I thought, like, in this, what just happened?
I tried following it, and then more news came out by the time I finished reading the news about this whole debacle. So I don't even know like where it's at right now. I think. Do you know the full story, Co? Do you know the full story, like all the updates? Because there's been like 3 or 4.
I know pretty much up to today, I think.
Okay. Fill us in.
Okay. So I'll give the most TLDR like top level understanding that I have here. So Frogware makes Sinking City. Nacom, the publisher, they have all sorts of bumps in the road during development. Frogware claims that Nacom did not send them payments in an orderly fashion. Nacom says we sent you tons and tons of money. Classic falling out between dev and publisher happens a lot. Nacom and Frogware are in litigation. They actually have active court cases open. These are not like I think Nacom like got a judge to get on their side a little bit, but then Frogware appealed it, and that is very much still open. There's very much unsettled legal business between the two companies.
Okay.
That's where we were like a little bit ago. So then all of a sudden, this copy of The Sinking City, the game that Frogware made, shows up on Steam. And as people noticed, there were some very key differences on this. Like, for instance, the startup and loading screens were missing key logos that Frogware put in, and all of this kind of weirdness. So then Frogware downloaded this version, which they did not give permission Nacom to put up. And they ended up using their master key, which is a certain kind of thing that lets them get into the actual code. And they found out that what Nacom did was they basically downloaded Frogware's version, used the master key to go in, and then actually changed files to replace different logos, to have them show different screens. They actually say it says Nacom now when it comes up instead of this other company that's supposed to, Games Planet, I think. And what's even crazier is the file names are the same as they used to be. They just like switched the image out in the packages and then like put them back in. In fact, they actually show Frogware made a video. The sinking City Devs made a video. And they actually show in the code where Games Planet, I believe, is actually mentioned. So Frogware obviously is super pissed. They're going, these guys hacked our game. They basically broke into our code without our permission. We're in open, court cases with them. It's a huge problem. So like they and also, by the way, Nacom had to do some like not so publicly okay things to get into the code as well, which is one of the reasons they're like, they basically had to get around stuff. They weren't supposed to be able to get in there. So TLDR, Nacom put up a hacked version of Sinking City, trying to make money off of it. They did this without the developer's approval. The developer still had an open case against them. Frogware had to DMCA their own game and got it taken off Steam, which I don't believe it's on Steam anymore. Last I checked, it is now off Steam, and I think they used DMCA to do that. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was an actual DMCA thing. And it is a mess. Nacom has since put up a response on the Steam page, I want to say, or they released this like boilerplate thing. That's the thing I haven't read yet. You can find that. that would be interesting because I've not actually seen Nacon's response. All I know is they put something in there about how we've sent them millions of dollars, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that is. But as far as I know, that's the last bit of news is that Nacon, it got taken off Steam and then Nacon put up their thing. And I don't know if there's anything else besides that. No, we're talking about it. I'm calling it Nacon. It may be Nacon. It's Nacon. It's a big EU publisher slash, I think they make controllers and stuff. But yeah, it's a big company. Any folks don't really know a lot about them. They recently published that werewolf game that came out. Like they're it's a thing.
So from their Twitter account 2 hours ago, it's Nacon said, this morning, the Steam version of Seeking City was withdrawn following action by Frogware. So we are sorry for the situation, and we're doing everything within our legal rights as the sole exclusive distributor on Steam to make the game available again. Unfortunately, the head office of the Ukrainian studio Frogware is located in Ireland, which makes legal proceedings longer. We will keep you informed as the situation unfolds. Additionally, you can view our full statement on the situation on our website.
Jesus.
That was tweeted from Nacon's official account 2 hours ago.
So there's still more information to come out from this, right? Like it's not resolved.
Oh, it's not done.
Yeah.
We're literally in the middle of it right now. And on top of all of this, Nacon tried to pull this stunt again while there's open legal court cases going on between the two companies. So it's like, you know, they're just trying to get a quick buck before they know they're going to lose. Like it's such a crazy mess. I actually put a tweet up and said, I'm not touching any Nacon products until this whole thing is over. Yeah. It is a very, very bad look for Nacon. Like a very bad look. Especially like what's even crazier is it's like Sinking City. It's not a brand new game. You know, it's not like this huge flying off the shelves game. And it's been out for a while. So it's like, why would they pull this of all things on Sinking City? Like, it's just such a weird situation.
Yeah, I don't know. There was also, did you mention the DLC was packed into it that Nacon had no right to, but they were also, that's part of what they uploaded when they uploaded their cracked version or whatever or something.
I have no idea about that.
I don't know. We'll wait till the full thing.
I know that Frogware's version had some connections to another product I think they worked on called Sherlock Holmes or something, and Nacon ripped all that out in their version. So Jeez. Like on the main menu, there used to be this thing like more games, and there used to be like a little advertisement in the bottom left. They just ripped all that out.
Jeez. What is, oh, so they, when was this? Oh, okay. So this is their, I'm looking at their statement from Steam that was yesterday morning. Nacon statement that they posted on Steam in the Sinking City discussion board. Yeah, we're in the middle of this. Like Co said, we'll wait to, I guess, talk about it more next week. Cause if this even stays public, at this point, like you said, there is current, lawsuits going on. I would imagine that they're going to probably start at the request of their lawyers on both sides, shutting the fuck up, about all of this. That's probably what they're being told every second. So yeah, we will see. What else? I think Danny brought up, Valheim has now broken 5 million sales. So that game continues to just get crazy and crazier and crazier. It's interesting because like, I think the first person that I saw tweet about it was like Ithalian, and then Kobe played a bunch of it. And now it's gotten into like the like Among Us circles, where like the people that were all about Among Us are now all about Valheim. So I thought it was going to start going like this and trending down. Now it's just going up and up. Now it's just going to get even crazier.
5 million sold, man. I think they announced that today. 5 million sold.
Yeah. So,
dude, I did an interview with a website.
Yeah.
Yesterday on my Valheim base. That was the interview. Not like, hey, Co, the streamer. Like, I was the guy that has the YouTube video about the base in Valheim.
Nice.
And it was like a 30-minute interview.
Nice. Does your
the whole thing was about Valheim. Nothing else.
Does your video have a bunch of views or something? Like, what was the focus on? Just your base?
It was. I had a like a 140-hour run, and I made like this base tour.
Oh, okay.
And it got like, I put it on the Reddit, and it did pretty well and stuff. And apparently this interview is what they're doing is they grabbed some of the top rated base view things off the Reddit, and they went around and apparently I'm a small part of like a larger article where they're talking about like to these different builders about like how they built their base and stuff like that. So,
cool. Cool.
Pretty cool.
Keep an eye out for that. Apparently this morning, 4 hours ago, Doom 3 VR was announced for the PSVR. I don't know if that's exclusive to PSVR.
That's a thing.
Yeah. That first bathroom.
That game's not super quick for VR or anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It is the slower of the Dooms, I guess, but it's still pretty fast. It's also terrifying. I will always remember that first bathroom scene in that game with I forgot the name of the monster, where that's like the first encounter. That was terrifying when I was a kid. I won't play that in VR. That's too much for me. What else is there? Oh yeah, the Fall Guys stuff. Media Tonic sold to Epic. Is it? I see the sour look. Co, for me, it's just kind of like, cool. Congrats to those guys. Why the sour look?
The sour look is because I remember the morning that the Rocket League devs had to turn off replies to their tweet because of how many people were complaining about server issues after they got bought by Epic.
You mean after they turned on server issues, or when they turned on the Epic
like,
servers?
Like Rocket League had numerous outages and like all sorts of problems ever since they got pulled under the Epic wing. So a lot of people are a little bit concerned that there may be server issues. Now it's kind of weird, and I don't know if those are related at all, because obviously, I mean, Epic runs Fortnite and all those servers and stuff, and that has millions of players and everything, and they don't have like massive outages or anything like that. So maybe it was just like a growing pain situation with Rocket League because it went free to play, or I don't know if it's free to play, but they did that big like free thing, but yeah, I'm just a little bit worried because Fall Guys is still kind of in its height of there's actually a lot of people still playing it. So, and I actually play it every so often as well. I just hope that we're not going to see like a bunch of server issues. If there's not, then it really isn't a big deal at all. I mean, Epic acquiring companies, they've got a huge amount of capital right now with everything that's going on. You know, that makes sense. Like, that's totally fine. I just hope that nothing negative comes from them trying to pull it under their wing or anything.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point.
Oh, it is. Rocket League is free to play now. Okay. So that maybe have something to do with it.
Yeah. I think in the Mediatonic blog post of them announcing this, one of the like FAQs that they had was, is the game going free to play? And they said, we don't have any plans to announce at the moment. So yes, is how you can interpret that. Somewhere down the line, it will probably happen.
If it were to go free to play, I'd be more concerned about that, to be honest. Because like that, especially when you tie it to a huge platform like Epic, if they were to then just kind of turn it on free to play and not have the whole infrastructure ready for that, like that could be big.
Yeah.
Big problem.
For sure. I mean, that game already, its peak was having server issues when it existed to begin with. Back in kind of its heyday before the Among Us craze, is when all that went down.
Granted, things have calmed down a good bit.
Yes.
But
yeah,
they're still chugging along.
Indeed. I think that might be the last bit of news, unless there's anything that you guys want to bring up or discuss or I missed.
Well, I actually was curious, going back to the Fall Guys thing. I was actually curious to see, like, because Valheim is like sold 5 million. I'm like, you know what? I wonder how many copies Fall Guys has sold. 11 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Over 11 million copies.
Did we know that? Has that like been out there for a while and I just forgot that it sold 11
I just
million?
looked up, I just Googled Fall Guys sales numbers, and it's just in big bold letters, 11 million copies.
How the fuck did that? I just forget that. What the fuck? That's absurd.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if they're how many of those were free things, like
The PlayStation Plus
accounting for
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know like how many millions, but like still 11 million people have that fucking game. It's crazy.
Yeah. I guess I had forgotten about how big that game was because at least in my mind, Among Us kind of started to overshadow it in like the Twitch ecosystem. But yeah, that's a lot. Apparently that number is 11 million on PC only. So that's a staggering amount.
Oh yeah, developer media Ultimate Knockout recently passed 11 million copies sold on PC alone.
Jesus. Well, congrats to them twice then on making bank both from original
Well, I
sales
was just thinking that, like,
and selling to
quick,
Epic.
quick math, the 5 people behind Valheim are like 20 millionaires. Like, they're like, got $20 million. I got $20 million. I mean, minus Steam's cut, of course, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Man, if they've sold 11 million, if they have really sold 11 million, like I can only imagine how much Epic bought them for. Like, my lord, dude, because that's wildly successful already. So
Yeah. Very few games hit that number in the history of very few compared to the rest of all of gaming. Yeah. That's crazy. What else? I'm just kind of scrolling along here. Blasphemous. We were talking about games sold. I think, didn't you play Blasphemous Z? Once upon a time? Once upon a indie. Oh, you both did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I played
reached
it a
1
little
million players, so it's good for them. I think that's probably about it in the world of the news. I don't think there's anything else out.
Oh, only a little bit of news, and thanks Ragnarok in chat for reminding us of this. They did basically officially confirm that Monster Hunter Rise is coming out for PC next year.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it's releasing next year. The early access starts later this month, I think is the wording on that, right?
For PC?
Yeah, it's early access on Switch, and then it fully releases on PC next year.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how that works. Yeah.
Early access usually means uncompleted games. You're saying the Switch version comes out soon, right?
That's the joke, yeah.
Oh.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. There we go.
Your hair
okay,
didn't catch any of the joke. It just, the beat
I know,
is too smooth. It just flew
okay.
right over. Yeah.
I went right over. I was like,
he does know that's a different term, right? He does understand that means unfinished products. Oh, because it's an. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Super.
Are you going to wait to play Rise, or are you going to play it on the Switch?
I played it on the Switch. I did a
that's
sponsored
right.
look
You
at
did.
it.
Okay, I forgot about that.
I did. I have to say, like, I really liked what I played. But it was on a Switch.
Right. Indeed.
So going from, I mean, I played Monster Hunter World on a significantly more powerful system, and the jump from the more powerful system to the PC was palpable.
Right.
So I'm thinking if they do the PC port right, the jump from Switch to PC will be remarkable. So I will say Monster Hunter Rise is awesome. Like, just the addition of that new pull, I don't even remember the name anymore, but the movement system they have now, and like the quick mount system, and like it feels so much better in terms of fluidity and just playing the game. So I'm super excited for it, but I will probably wait for PC. Yep. Wirebug. Thank you. Wirebug. Yep.
Yeah,
Wirebug is awesome. Love it.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to wait or not. There's not much out at the end of March, so it might be something that I jump into. But it's always going to be in the back of my mind, right? Like, if I waited, this game's going to look and most likely play better across the board. So, I guess in some
years old, a long way away though.
It is, yeah. And I guess in another way to think about it is like, the PC, they're not going to like remake the textures, right? So like, it's only going to be a better running version that looks kind of identical to the game itself. It's not like Monster Hunter World where the textures could be up-resed and they're going to look that much better. Like,
for me, I decided I'm probably just going to switch or skip the Switch version and just wait for Outriders, and then just go ham in that on the first.
Yeah. I don't know. Haven't made my call yet. So we'll see. All right, let's talk games. Because we've spent actually very little time on the games we've been playing over the past couple of weeks. You guys have both played Breath Edge, and we both talked about it, or you guys have both talked about it before. Zeke, I'll start with you. How are you liking Breath Edge? Because I know Ko last time he played it was really into it. Are you feeling the same? You liking Breath Edge?
Yes. It is one of those rare instances where a game that I wouldn't normally get into, I'm enjoying myself or enjoying my time with it. For some reason, maybe it's just water and not space. Maybe I like space better than water, but Subnautica didn't grab
Space is cooler than water, it turns out.
Well, I mean, than the ocean, like a planet just of ocean, whatever. this one appealed to me more. Like, I don't know, like maybe it's just a personal preference or something like that, but also I'm guessing it's because of the way the goal system is set up. Like in this game, I feel like there's more of a story going on and I know Subnautica has one, and maybe I never discovered it, blah blah blah. This one, like from the jump, it's like, here's what's happening, here's a couple of markers on your thing, go out, and then when you go out like floating around and shit, if you get close to something that's a point of interest, it like marks it for you. It's like, this is a point of interest you're going to want to take a look at. And when you taking a look at it and you've done what it's like set up for you to do, the marker disappears. So you're like, okay, so I've done what they think I should do here. I don't feel like I'm creating my own fun in this game, which is, I think, is a big thing for me, like a big wall for me. Like, that's why I was like, I played a little bit of Valheim, played like, 4 or 5 hours of Valheim. I'm like, yeah, this is like more what I expected. Like, I'm trying, like, I'm making my own fun, building my own base and stuff like that. Like, there's a light goal of like killing monsters and shit, but this one has like humor as well, which is a huge factor for me. There's a lot of like dark, funny humor, goofy shit, blood and gore and stuff like that, like gratuitous violent scenes, and stuff like that, which appeals to me and my darker nature. But also like it plays a lot like just a gathering game. But look at this. Okay, that like what you're looking at there
Looks real
like
cool.
take that and put it against like the opening scenes of like Subnautica and stuff. Like, there's so much going on in the Breath Edge screens. So like, what's that over there? What's that? Oh, like, so much stuff that you can just plainly see. It takes you a while to get there, but you can see the shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to badmouth Subnautica. I'm not. I'm just saying, I'm trying to explain the reason why this game appealed to me more than that one did. But yeah, so I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you, like 6 hours yesterday, I was sitting there doing the research stuff, which I would hate to stream because it was so fun to just sit there and just like, I gotta get, okay, how much more metal do I need? Okay, I'm gonna go get that. And that's my brain talking.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, I mean, that would be a fun stream as well if you were.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I did that, like, for like 6 hours while I was, watching a stream or, had Netflix on or whatever, just like, because that felt like I would be boring on stream doing that. Like, it would just be like a time for conversation. And you know how much I hate conversing with my chat. It's just a nightmare.
It's really the worst.
It is. It really is. So, I took the time to gather up all the stuff. So when I stream this again tomorrow, I'm ready to discover new shit. Like, I didn't do anything new. That was off stream. All I did was gather. I gathered shit. Like, just 6 hours of nothing but gathering shit. And so now I'm ready for when I stream it tomorrow. It's just going to be like, all right, from the jump, we're going to make all this shit that I did spend all this time researching and gathering for. We're going to make all that stuff. And we've got like, I don't know, like a dozen points of interest ahead of me. Like, I can see like, 10 or 12 like different things that I have yet to discover, which I'm actually super excited about. Yeah. So I'm loving it. It's colorful. It's beautiful. It's some of the music gets a little bit much. But the outer world music, like when you're out in space, like if you're in your base and you have your radio on, there's, I don't know how many songs there are, but they tend to repeat a lot. So you're just like, okay. This song, the only song that I can continually listen to, and it hasn't got old yet, is the crooner song that there's no words. He just does that. I don't mind that
Mouth
song. Whenever it comes on, I'm all about it.
Trumpet, nice.
But
Dude, it really does. Jokes he used to make, like it sounds like somebody just doing it. It's so
Yeah.
good.
It's actually really good, but I think it's a lark. I think it's making fun of that kind of music. But it's actually pretty good. Also, you might notice in my bass the lights are off. Why did you add a hum to the fucking fluorescence? For realism, don't do that.
Oh, is the hum bothering you or something when you turn it on?
I walk every time I go into my bass, like it's not super loud, but it's just loud enough where I'm like, why? And I go to the light switch, turn it off, and it just silence. I'm like, man, why did you do that? That was a bad choice.
Have you
like
guys,
all my basses are dark now.
have you guys actually ever heard that noise in life? Or is that just something that like TV and movies decided to add in once upon a time and now we all just accept that as a real hum? I don't think I've ever actually heard that in person.
No, if you ever worked in a warehouse.
You guys both talk at the same time. Go ahead.
Go.
Yeah, go ahead.
There absolutely is a hum, but I hear it with televisions. It's a high-pitched sound. I remember as a kid, I could walk into a room and I could instantly tell if a TV was on or not without anyone else. And I remembered it was kind of a joke because one of my friends thought I had a superpower for a while. And I was like, cool, my superpower is telling if a television's turned on.
That's crazy. I said this same exact thing growing up. Like even if the TV was muted, you could hear it being on. But also like if you ever worked in a warehouse, or like I did, I worked in the when I was I don't know like 19 or 20, I worked in the main sorting facility of the Billings post office, and it's just like a big warehouse with like sorting machines and stuff. But you can hear like when the rare times when it gets quiet, you can hear the fluorescence above you just going. It's strange.
Maybe I've always
same thing.
Maybe I've mistaken them for like AC units because I can hear AC units and I can filter those out when I'm trying to sleep very easily. But like fluorescence and stuff, I don't think I've heard that. Anyways, random tangent. You guys, I think the last time we talked about this, the story was kind of a big draw in the sense that it was a little bit of like dark humor and the fact that there was a story to begin with it all. Like how expansive is that? This is a 1.0, right, Co? Like this is the full thing. You finished it. I don't think Zeke has. Is the story the draw, or is the survival aspect the draw here, or both?
It's very, for me, it was very much both. The game has, base building. It has resource collection. There's lots of crafting to the point where some people have actually knocked it for it with the lower weapon durability or lower tool durability and such. It is very much a kind of survival game, but at the same time, the thing that really kind of kicked it over for me is the same thing that kept having me play Phoenix Immortal Rising, where it was just like there's this level of humor that the game just constantly smacks you in the face with. And I will say it is definitely more try-hard humor in Breathedge in a good way. Like they literally try to make almost every single thing you do in the game have some sort of comedic essence. Like everything. Like there's almost nothing in this game that's taken seriously at all. And it sometimes it really works, and other times, just like in Immortal, it's kind of like a dad joke, and you just roll your eyes and you just keep going, because like obviously it's so over the top, try hard that's the reason it's funny, is because it's over the top, try hard humor. Go ahead.
That scene you just saw, like the last thing you just saw, when you see like him grab the thing and like pull it off.
Yeah.
The suit. AI, like the spacesuit has an AI that talks to you, and it's basically like the narrator or whatever telling you like what this is and where to go, blah blah blah. But like the suit was like, what you're gonna want to do to get this panel off is take it, or you could just rip it right off, like, and it just fucking pulls right off. It's that kind of humor, like the AI, like, kind of makes fun of you, or like has a computery way of assessing like a situation. There's a scene where someone is killed and it looks like a sex crime, like it's a crime that has to do with like a sexual relationship or something. And the AI looks at it very coldly, computer-like. And he goes, all right, the mystery has been solved. and the computer says like absolutely not what happened. Like you can tell just by looking at the scene as a human being what happened, but the computer goes, no, obviously this happened, then this, and then this, and then this, and it's kind of like that. It's very fun humor.
Ninja Bob in my chat has a good question. Is there more or less story than Subnautica in a world of comparing things to people that I'm just stumbling in this sentence.
Believe it or not,
Go ahead and just talk, Co.
I would. I'm sorry, I've got a weird delay.
No, that was me stumbling through sentence. You were saving me in this essence. I was not commenting on us talking over one another.
Now, here's the thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this because it's a little spoilery, but it doesn't spoil the story. Hold on, but it doesn't spoil the story at all. And this is something that I think would I wish if I had known it before, there's a chance that I would have enjoyed the game a little bit more.
Okay.
And what it is, I'll go ahead and say it, and I don't think this will ruin it for you at all, Zeke.
No, there are scenes on the screen that I haven't got to yet.
Oh
yeah,
bad.
that don't look.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
No worries.
I'll find a different
What I will say is that this game does one thing that isn't super popular right now, but at the same time, I feel like it works. And if you kind of know what's going on, it works a lot better. And that is around the middle-ish of the game kind of flips into a more story-focused, more linear type of game. And the reason that's so important is because you'll notice all of a sudden that you're being surrounded with way more resources than you need. And like me, what I did, I assumed we were still in, let me bring everything back to my base mode. So I was super stressing and like, oh, I got to fill my inventory and do all this stuff and do all this stuff. But what's cool is I think the devs kind of realized what was going on, and they were trying to kind of streamline things by just being like, yo, if you need to build something, just like look around. Like you can just pick up whatever you need that's around you. You don't need to like go back to your base. You don't need to do any of this. Just look around you and start working. And if I'd known that, then I feel like it would have been a lot more streamlined. But
well, the funny thing is, I think I'm at that point because like I think I'm just at the cusp of that point because I haven't ventured into the area with all of the new like points of interest that have popped up. I have stopped here, like there's a wall, and I've been going back here and like gathering shit and building shit. So I have like I think I'm right there at that point. And I probably that 6 hours I spent, if I have my guess right, it probably would have been like cut down by a third or 2/3.
If my guess is correct, I think you're about a quarter through the game.
Okay.
And the part I'm talking about is about halfway through the game.
Okay, never mind then. Okay.
So, like, let me put it this way. There's an entire, like, you construct things phase. And not just items and stuff, but actual places. Sure. And it's after that section, after you're done with that, essentially. Again, I'm not going to spoil it too much. But here's the interesting thing. Because of that section, I would almost say this game is more story focused than Subnautica. Especially once you get to that second area, like a lot of things start happening. Like there's definitely more kind of like plot stuff that happens. And of course it's all through the lens of comedy. But there is definitely a lot of things that start happening. And you start getting like histories and you start getting like lore starts filling in and why stuff is the way it is. And all of a sudden all this really weird shit you've been seeing the whole game starts making more sense. And like it is big. So yeah, I would say that this game actually probably has more story than Subnautica, and a lot less of like going between places kind of casually, like where Subnautica has more like concentrated story stuff. So although there is a lot of movement between locations in this when you are in space and stuff, there seems to be more kind of like stuff that you move through instead of just like underwater traveling, which is like I'd say this is the majority of Subnautica, right?
Okay.
I will say if you pick this game up, the locomotion, moving from one place to the other is a bit slow to start, but it gets better.
Are you using left alt?
What do you mean?
Uh-oh.
Left
alt.
alt.
So if you hold down left alt,
okay.
Nice ads. If you hold down left alt, you stop in space.
Oh, I have it bound to a thumb button.
Okay. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know about that.
Stabilization is very important.
Crazy. Yeah. Yes, it is so important
Yep.
to make sure that you use either left alt or rebind it to something. Because
I
without
was
that,
more
you're like
talking
constantly
about
moving, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
throws
yeah.
off a lot of motion sickness.
Oh, and no, I
So
use it all the time. It's like my best friend is that thing. I hold it down when I'm bashing a boulder because like you can still move forward, but it stops you immediately. So you just like bashing it, and it like goes just a little bit. Like you can move forward with that stabilizer still on, which made
Got
it a way easier.
Cool.
No, I was more talking about the locomotion between from place to place, like how long it takes. It it's a little slow to start, but it does get better. So if that's like a hurdle for you, you're like, God damn, it takes forever to do anything. If you like, I pushed through that, and I was like, okay, it's better now.
Cool.
I don't want to say anything, but yeah.
Someone in my chat said the game's longer than you think. How long did you spend on it, Co? 40 hours? 30 hours?
16-ish.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay. That's shorter.
It's pretty long, but I mean it's not like let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't think
We're on Epic.
I don't know where I had this one actually.
I think I can just pull up your.
But
let's see.
it was on Epic. I think I played on a couple different things. Yeah, I had it on Epic. Let me see how many hours it was.
Barry said
I
my
think it was
playthrough was
open.
30 hours, 20 for first half. What are you at, Zeke?
I've got 25,
Okay.
but that's also counting
That's Zeke time.
the 3 hours I played for the first chapter, 2 whatever years ago, like September 2018.
Yeah.
And then also leaving it on.
Okay.
I've left it on a couple times, but
Gotcha. Did you find the hourage, Co?
No, I'm still looking here. 16 hours, 47 minutes.
Okay. Shorter than
But
I
it
thought.
is, like he said, though, it's also important to mention that I did basically play the first 2 to 3-ish chapters before. So I kind of like knew what I was doing, and and all that kind of stuff. So it probably would have been like 20-ish if I had not been doing that.
oh, dude, yeah, I started over a couple of times, and what took me 8 hours the first time took me like an hour and a half to like just get caught up
Yeah.
again, because like that's where that is. That's where that is. This is the important thing. You want to get that first, which I got last, my first playthrough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. That you guys both recommend? Final thumbs up, thumbs down, both.
Yes,
I loved
if
it,
you
man.
like the humor.
Okay.
If you
That
like
is a
the
very
humor.
good point. Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
very good point.
Cool.
If you're in this for like atmospheric, subnautic, like chill out, like there is elements of that, but you have to like what they give you. It's pretty. There's a lot of juvenile shit in there for sure.
Okay. All right. Cool. What else? I finished Persona 5 Strikers last night. That took
Oh, yeah.
37 hours. So definitely on the shorter side. I definitely was like, I wouldn't say rushing it, but I didn't open chest in the final area. We'll say that, I guess, is a way to say where I was in terms of getting to the end. You guys should probably both play that game as fans of Persona 5. It's Royal is not factored into it whatsoever, so you're not going to be missing anything in that regard.
Good.
There might be like some small references to it, but you're not going to miss anything really. I have a lot of like, I guess, hot takes on it. It has my favorite character in the entire Persona universe. Out of all the games that I've played in over the 200 hours I've played, it has my favorite character. I'm not going to say who or what that is until both of you have finished it, because it's arguably a spoiler. I'm not going to show any footage of it as well, because it is rather spoilery. I do think Persona 5 Royale is still the best game in the Persona universe. But I think that I know this was like an additional game and it wasn't necessarily a part of the mainline experience that they wanted, because it was made by a different developer. But if Persona 6 is done in this combat fashion, which I don't think it would be, but if it is, totally on board for it. I think the combat in this game was incredible. There was only one portion of it where I was frustrated, and it wasn't even a part of the combat. The final boss is, and I don't say this often, it's the best fight in the game. It is like an actual raid boss in a sense. Like you actually have to pay attention to what's happening. It's not just button mashing. And that kind of goes throughout the whole combat system in the game, but specifically that final boss, it's like different phases. There's things that you have to constantly dodge that are not just cookie cutter stuff. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on the final boss. I wish the actual game was more like that final boss experience. There's a very expansive end game, which I did not even touch. But it's essentially probably another 15, 20 hours to it if you want to try to 100% that game for anyone else out there. I was also severely under leveled. Yeah, it's a great point. Someone in my chat's making at the end of the game. Trying to think if there's anything. The music, somehow that music keeps getting better. It's not fair that they can just continue making good music that's somehow better than the other music that already exists in that game. That's real silly. It hits all the right points as well. In terms of like the music ramps up at the right points in the story where you're just like, oh yeah, this is fucking sick. And yeah, I had a great time with it. I was once again, when those credits rolled, I was sad to be like leaving that universe. Potentially for the last time. I don't know if they're going to do any other Persona 5 things down the line, but if that's the last time that I'm in that universe, that saddens me. But if that means we get to go into Persona 6, then maybe I'm okay with that. Maybe if they make another good Persona game, that's all right too. I don't know if there's any other thing to mention about it. Obviously, if you guys have any questions about it, I think I answered most of them last week though, but it's a solid game. And it's a direct sequel to Persona 5 as well, if people are at all curious. So you can't, I think the number one question I got was, can you jump into this without having played Persona 5? You totally can, but I definitely do not recommend it, because at the very outset of the game, it's like, here are all the characters you met in Persona 5. And if you don't understand, or you haven't spent the 100+ hours with them, you're going to think some of them are just, you're going to think the cat's like an idiot. Like, you won't have the relationship with Morgana. You're going to think Yusuke is just like this fucking art dweeb, and you're not going to understand why, you should or should not feel for them. There's a lot of that for sure. So I definitely recommend playing the base game, if not Persona 5 Royale, first, so you have reference for everything. Because there is a lot of callbacks to the mainline story that are both joking and just like, hey, remember that time when X happened type deal. Or why a character would be pulled to a certain situation that's happening in Strikers with the backstory that is filled in the base game. So, yeah, it's good. It's a really good one. I did not expect it to be that good. And the fact that I'm like praising a Muso game, still, I find that hard to believe, but stranger things have happened, I guess. So it's good. Pick it up. Yeah. So you want to talk Outriders? You went back
Sure.
and played more Outriders.
I did.
Did you like it better than that class that you chose when we were playing the other day?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did Pyromancer, and I played that up until I got the third ability, and then I tried Trickster, and I absolutely love Trickster.
You're taking my class?
I mean, no, mine now.
God damn it.
I appropriated your class.
God
Yeah.
damn it. Well,
But it's good, man. Like I the thing about Outriders that kind of clicks with me is I like there's just one guy in my chat that said like 3 times in a row, Outriders sucks. Okay, dude, you don't like it. That's cool. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the thing I really like about Outriders, the story was okay. Like I was actually wondering where it was going to go from there. I like that they're doing this like dual parallel story thing where there's like our guy with the humans and then Seth and whatever evil he's dealing with. That's kind of cool. I really like a couple of the scenes because they definitely like whet my appetite to want to know more about them, like specifically those hulking giant rock things. That looked pretty badass. The way that the customization system works, I did watch that video that explains about the end game with the
why didn't they
watch that
just
whole
have
thing?
us show that video on the sponsored stream? What the fuck?
Dude, I know, right? They absolutely should have. That's super cool. And most importantly, the thing that really gets me excited about this game is I feel in a lot of ways, and I hope it doesn't come back to haunt me by saying this, and it might. We live in that day and age, but I kind of hope that Outriders is what I wanted Anthem to be, where when I saw Anthem, and especially after I played Anthem a little bit, I was like, this gameplay is kind of cool. I want to be in this world for like 25 to 40 hours and then have actually something to do when I'm done for a while. Like that's what I was wanting for Anthem. And instead, I got like a 4.5 to 6 hour game. And then when that was done, it was like, oh, and now you can replay all the levels you did for gear that really doesn't mean much. And there's not a lot of variety and you can't really do much with it anyway. And it was just this terrible experience. So when I first played Outriders, I was kind of like, I like the gameplay's okay. The story's okay. And my first impression was like, okay, like this could be fun, but if there's no content there, it's going to be another Anthem.
Yeah.
Then I learned that the devs apparently have a 20-ish hour main story. They're claiming you can get 35 to 40 hours out of just the main story and side quests. And then they have a fully developed end game with 13 new levels and a 14th that only unlocks at the end. And then on top of all that, they have like this crafting system where you can like mix and match and make your own gear and stuff. And there's also an RNG factor and all this stuff. So it sounds like this is the Anthem I wanted, kind of as a final product. Like this is what I was hoping Anthem was and did not get. But this game feels much more like maybe this is something that could be really cool. Most importantly, I really like the fact that they're saying there's not going to be microtransactions. And most importantly, it's not a live service. So when supposedly when we get this game, it is going to be a final product. And if you want to participate in the end game, it's going to be like 50 plus hours to get through everything. That's awesome. So that has me like, that has swayed me to being like, I might try Outriders 2. I'm actually looking forward to playing this game on the first. I'm at least going to do the main story. My plans are, at least as long as it stays as kind of as interesting as it has been. And then if I like that, I'll probably do the end game, and I may do all the side quests too. So I kind of hope that this is as good as I'm hoping it'll be.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pieces of this puzzle that add up to it looking pretty good.
I agree. Yeah, I would echo everything you said. We should also note that yes, me, Co, and Dan did sponsored stream for this game on Sunday morning together. So we were sponsored to play it, but that doesn't carry on to our opinion.
I mean, I went back to do non-sponsored stuff later.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to play, because you were the Technomancer, right? That was your first class?
From Alpha Centauri. Yes.
Yeah. And that looked very much like the support class.
It is the support class.
Yeah. I had a great time playing the Trickster. The Pyromancer I've not seen at all. And the tank that Dan was playing, the Devastator, looked badass as well. So I'm not necessarily sure where I want to go when the game launches in April. But all of that in-game stuff that they showed, it seems like everything looks badass. And I'm a big fan of the characters and the armor and the guns and all of that art associated with all of it. It seems like no matter what you pick, you're going to end up looking like a badass, which is always fun.
I also I liked the kind of movement and weapon system a little bit more than I did Destiny. And also one thing that I was very worried about going in, and I was very public about my worry about it, is that like with Destiny especially, I wanted to like Destiny, but I could never just find that hook or connection that got me into it. And I don't know if it's because this is like a more slightly reality based world, or maybe it's just the stupidly dark over the top humor at times, but I found myself liking this world and this environment. I found it a lot more relatable than Destiny. Like when I was doing Destiny main story stuff, I never really like felt the need to keep going because I didn't really care too much about what was going on. But for this one, and I don't know if it's just the dystopian atmosphere, and that's kind of like my preference is like post-apocalyptic dystopian stuff. But I certainly am having a much easier time being like, oh, I kind of want to know what happens here. Like, this is enough to keep going. I want to know more about this world and stuff like that. And that was the hook that I was kind of worried wasn't going to be there. It ended up being there for me. Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of things I didn't like, most of the stuff they've already addressed and said will be fixed on full release in terms of the shaky cam, the motion blur, the 30 FPS cutscenes. That stuff was like actually pretty bad, especially
shaky camera.
Yeah, it when we say shaky camera, it's not like a cool thing in a movie. It's like literally like constant. It never stops. It just does that nonstop. It was too much. And they said that they're going to work on it and hopefully be fixed on it. So that's good.
It's like the Blair Witch on speed.
Yeah, it was
Like
a lot.
it's just, it's and it's not even like you look at like a show called like Firefly, and whenever they did the cool outer space things, the camera would kind of like slowly kind of like, oh look, this is kind of realistic.
Yeah.
But for some reason in this game, they thought it would be good if it was like there was an earthquake going on. Like it's not stylish and interesting. It's like the camera actually jerks different directions. It's so weird, and there's no reason for it to be there.
No,
None.
it's weird.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would the camera all of a sudden start shaking? It's not like it's so strange, man.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
So that's definitely a thing that they, I think, have said they will fix, and I hope they do, because it's a lot. There's also, I think, I enjoy the story. I'm interested in the world. There are like complete tone shifts in like second to second cutscenes. Like one second you're like, oh man, okay, this really sucks. The next second that person's dead. The next second the person that killed them, that person's dead. In this exact instance, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Funny enough, though, that's my favorite scene in the demo.
I would say it was. I didn't expect it though. Like, the game didn't do anything to like set that tone going up to it. And so it caught me completely off guard. But if that's the start of that for the rest of the game, then that's cool, I guess.
There were a few. There was like the other one. What was the other one? When he saves that girl and he's like, I had a whole line planned out. Like he like there's these really weird. It's kind of like this strange, try hard dark humor.
Yeah.
Where like you're trying to be edgy. So it's definitely not the thing where it's kind of like, man, that's funny. It's more just like, it's kind of eye rolly, or like which again, clearly there's a theme here with Immortal and Breath Edge in this now. But like, I don't mind that kind of humor. It's kind of funny. It's nice when the devs kind of clearly acknowledge that they're trying hard for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And not just like, trying to pull off being like get belly laughs and things like that nature. So I thought it was cool. I actually like that. Apparently the game is going to have some of that. It made it a little bit more interesting, especially that one scene you mentioned with the two guys getting shot back to back. That scene, if there's more like that, like I'm on board. I thought that was great. I actually laughed out loud at that one.
Yeah, because it was just so unexpected, right? Like usually those are set up for characters that you're going to be playing with for 5 to 10 hours and like doing giant missions for, et cetera. It's like, no, we're just going to shoot that guy in the head. Just like the first instance of it.
Yeah. As someone pointed out in chat, I just want to make a distinction. I'm actually not talking about Borderlands humor. I feel like Borderlands humor is the try-hard humor that doesn't really resonate with me, especially in 3. Maybe like 2 and stuff was kind of funny, but 3 was like so over the top try-hard that it was just kind of like it became a little hard. Yeah, it was just a little too surface level in my opinion. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what the distinction is.
I'm trying to think of the distinction as well. There is one, but I don't know what it is because they are very much similar. But
and even weirder, I liked a lot of the stuff in Borderlands 2, and then especially like the main characters of 3. I wanted to find the main characters of 3 funny because they were caricatures of us, basically. Like I wanted them to be funny, but it was just kind of just like
us. Yeah, no, I get that. I understand.
Yeah, very similar to us, exactly. They just never hit their mark.
Yeah, that's true. It was an off week for Borderlands 3. Just like off week for drop.
Yeah. Like Beagle Cypher my chat. Wait, Borderlands 3, there was humor in that game? Yeah.
It was a lot. They beat you over the head with it for sure. But yeah. Zeke, you might not have this question, but I'm going to answer it for you.
Sounds good.
Is this the type of game that you would latch on to? Does it have enough of whatever that special sauce that needs Zeke to be able to fulfill a role in this game?
Okay.
I don't think it's there.
You don't need to aim.
Well,
Here's the no. I am not kidding you. 2 seconds before you started speaking, JP, I wrote in my own chat, soldier shooty bang bang on a brown gray background. This game is of zero interest to me.
Yeah, no, that's why I said what I said. Yeah, that you touch on a point there as a joke, but I think it is worth my hope is that what we're seeing here, this like trench style brown soldier Gears of War type thing. I hope that we actually do get to see like the rest, because you're on an alien planet in this game. I hope that we're not just seeing like a shitty fucking Rune atmosphere everywhere. I hope that we're going to see like lush forest, or like, something.
Like what they said at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because if
This
it's
is what
this
they're
for 30
showing
hours,
you.
right?
This is what they're showing you, though. Like if I'm not mistaken, like Destiny opened with like colorful, like alien worlds, like
Somewhat, yeah.
and it had exciting things to look at. Like I have had my fucking fill of burnt out, fucking destroyed brown ass buildings,
Totally.
and cover and shoot. Like
You're not wrong.
come on.
Yeah.
If you're on an
Okay,
alien
I'm
planet,
totally with you.
that means your imagination is your fucking only limit. And
But
this
look,
is what they come up with.
This is the only
Real-
habitable
real-
one, though.
wait.
So,
The beginning of the game does start in like a forest outdoor region, the very start.
Okay.
yeah.
And also, this is not the dev showing us anything. The demo is the actual beginning of the game. And all of the stuff you do in the demo actually goes over to the real game. So
There's a
I will agree
term-
that it's kind of weird, but yes, I'm hoping, I'm very much hoping that there are more like open, lush, outdoor alien things. I'm guessing there is. Because they actually make a point to mention
This is great.
that the entire human race essentially is stuck in this valley
Yeah.
because there are these storms that hold them in there. So I think the whole premise is that we're going to like
Right.
go out into the untamed lands later once we somehow find a way around that stuff. So yeah, there we go. That's what the planet looks like mostly.
Yeah.
Um,
But I'm gonna.
Yeah.
What my point is you don't need that shit, that burnt out building at all. You don't need it at all in there. Get it the fuck out. It makes me not interested in your fucking game. If I see gameplay
You're not
like that,
wrong.
I'm like, next.
Yeah. You've seen it 1,000 times. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
For sure.
I like burned out building.
Though,
And someone said, so just make Halo. No, I'm saying alien world, infinite possibilities. Show me something.
Show him
I-
the money.
I do wonder, like, how much focus testing shows, and this is where it gets a little bit gross, how much focus testing shows that you have to have that, like, gray burnt down building because that's, like, what the Call of Duty world expects / wants. And that's how they get people interested in this game, is by showing that. Because there's got to be a reason for that, right? Because it's in every fucking game.
I think honestly, if anything, it's setting the mood because they want the player to realize like 30 years has passed. All of humanity is trapped in this little region. It's just been blown up and destroyed to shit. There's
Yeah.
no like actual real infrastructure anywhere outside of, I think it's just, and remember, this isn't like the chosen area. This is the beginning of the game where you've woken up in the thick of all this shit. Like, I think it just kind of makes sense in terms of where it is. Because I mean, it'd be even weirder if this place was supposed to be having this giant civil war for 30 years for it to not look this way in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We'll see. Game ships in early April, so we'll.
Yeah, all the
Have our
discussion
hands
is going to hinge on how the rest of the game looks, essentially. So we'll know in less than a month now.
For sure. That is Outriders. We got 5 minutes. Zeke, do you have a 5-minute thing, or do you want to just
Loop Hero.
wrap?
Let's
What?
talk about Loop Hero.
Oh, have you both have played it? I'm playing it after this, so I'm excited. Yeah, sell me on
Oh,
Loop
I
Hero.
played it for the first time today. Holy shit!
Zeke, is Loop Hero good? Co likes it apparently.
Yeah, Loop Hero is a I've been playing a lot of it just like offline. I was talking to Danny before we went live
Mhm.
about Loop Hero. He asked us what we're playing. I was like, I'm playing Loop Hero. It's a great time waster game because you can mostly pause whenever you want, stop the action, come back to it, blah blah blah. It's I told Danny, it gave me the kind of feeling without the competition aspect. It gave me a kind of auto chess kind of a feeling, because you don't fight the guys. Like you equip them, and then the fights happen automatically without you. So like you have to judge like what kind of like build am I going to do? Am I going to do a crit build? Am I going to do a defense build, an evasion build, an attack speed build? And then you like have like all the, you see like the mountain on the left hand side,
There's
and like
a
the
lot of
plains looking thing
information.
on the right hand side.
Yeah. Okay.
Each one of those tiles does one like a little tiny thing for your character. The mountains add max HP. Like your HP goes up, max goes up for each mountain you put. And each mountain you put next to another mountain adds one more, so on and so forth. So there's the building aspect of it is strategic. So like, and as you can see, if you put nine rocks or mountains in one square, it creates a mountain peak, which is what you're seeing in the bottom, in the left hand corner of Co's screen right now. You can only have one of them, but it gives you bonuses, but it also gives you like a hard creature to defeat in your loot. So basically what happens is you outfit your guy, you give him you set up all the cards. Like, I want this monster, I want this land, I want this building to be on the road, the loop road. I want and then you like upgrade your shit to see if you can like give your character starting equipment, certain bonuses, supplies, stuff like that. So like every time you pass a campfire, you get plus 10% of your HP back or whatever. So you can set up all these things, and then you hit like go, and then your little sprite just walks around this loop, and like certain things, like a percentage, like see those green slimes? It's like 5% of the chance every day that a green slime will appear on any square. And then like you can set up like a graveyard, knowing that on every fourth day or third day or whatever, a skeleton will appear in that graveyard. You've set up your equipment, though, to fight skeletons. So You're good with that. You're fine with that. So you set up the obstacles for yourself so that you hopefully can get the most XP and win. But also you kind of don't want to do too much of a challenge, because then you'll die and you have to fucking start over again.
Huh.
So I like that aspect of it. You set up your own challenges, but you want to get good things. So you have to set up like something that's challenging.
What's a game that you can compare this to?
None.
Yeah, that's why
I've been getting that question all day.
It seems really unique.
All day. Loop Hero is very similar to kind of like, I feel the same way that I did about Loop Hero as I did Valheim, where it borrows a lot of stuff from other games, but it puts it together in a way that definitely is its own thing. This is definitely more of a thing for Loop Hero than Valheim. But it has features of an idle game. It has the equipment and loot of an RPG. It has passive skills. It has a meta style base building. It has a roguelite element of repeating your gameplay loop over and over. It has a card deck element. It has a strategic placement element. Like it is a lot of different things in one package.
You're saying a lot of good things there, Co.
Dude, it's really good. Like, not only that, but like the meta camp, as you kind of progress through it, you unlock new classes, you unlock new ways to play the game. There's like new mechanics that open up in there. Like it is a very unique, cool game.
All right, great. I'm excited.
And I just posted the link in all of our chats. There's a free demo if you want to check it out.
Oh, that's great.
Totally free demo.
That's awesome.
It comes out tomorrow. If you want to pick it up.
Cool. Yeah. I'm excited to play it. Great. Sounds good. Is it hard? Would you say hard is one of the things that you would describe it as? Or learning curve? Is there a learning curve?
Learning curve. I would say the learning curve is the thing that you would want to, that I'd want to like get the word out about. The learning curve is there's a lot of discovering stuff too. Like I didn't know that if you put like the 9 mountains in a square, that it would create a mountain peak. But they kind of set you up to say like, you put mountains next to rocks next to mountains, stuff, you get an extra bonus for them touching other mountains. So they kind of like did that. And then once you like you're like, oh shit, it created something. But there's also like, if you put this tile next to this tile, you have a new land or a new like obstacle or new something. You're like, oh shit, what does this thing do? A lot of that happens throughout the game. So you'll be doing this, you'll like get a new like you'll complete a loop, you'll beat one of the bosses or whatever, and you'll come back and like invest in your like the hub, the town or whatever that you're building, and it'll say it gives you access to a new card, new land or whatever. It's like, okay, so if I put the forest next to this thing, unknowingly I created something that was like not something I was prepared for, so you get kind of like a difficulty spike, you know.
That's cool.
And that shit happens. Like the discoverability of it is really makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's very cool.
Great. I'm very excited to play that. Let's do some shout outs so I can go play that. This is Zeke.
Oh, as far as the music goes, I can't really speak to it a lot because I play it muted because I've been playing it with like whatever me and the lady are watching on one side and Loop Hero on the other side. So I've just been playing it like that with the sound off. I'm sorry.
Oh.
The music is so good.
Okay.
It's
I
so
know.
good.
I heard.
It's
People have been telling me, but like I don't
Oh,
play
it's
the
so
sound
good.
on. I'm sorry.
Hey, are you gonna stream it, right? Eventually.
I did stream it. I streamed. I had a sneak peek. It was a tit for tat thing. It was like, all right, we're gonna give you the ability to play Loop Hero on your stream. There's an embargo. You can only go so far, but you have to give us a quote like about the game. And I was like, I could do that.
What was
So
your
I played
quote?
it. I was like, man, I really liked it. And there's an ad. I tweeted it out. The YouTube like sizzle ad says like, I think King Ithalian has a quote, and mine says like low key addictive. And I gave him several like lines I could use. I was like, these are lines that I came up with. Here you
That's
go.
awesome.
And yeah, I'm on a little sizzle reel. It says like low key addictive. Ezekiel III, and I'm like, I never thought I'd be like someone that we listened to. You know,
That's
Zeke on
awesome.
the marquee.
Yeah. That's that Devolver charm right there. Let's do some shout outs. Zeke, start us off.
you betcha. Thank you guys for watching first and foremost. Second and first and foremost, and then second and I don't know if there's a second thing.
I don't know.
Anyway, but thank you to Danny O'Dwyer for joining us talking about NoClip, and he's the man. He's an awesome dude. Thank you for coming on the show. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I will be broadcasting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. Continuing with Breath Edge. I'm ready to there's so much shit that I just prepared for. I'm just gonna be discovering new stuff when we stream it tomorrow. So if you want to join me for that, that would be awesome. If you want to join me on my ladies channel, twitch.tv/ClassKatie, I'll be on there for a little bit. It's her birthday today, so I'm gonna go hang out with her and her channel for a little bit. But yeah, so that's what's coming up tonight, tomorrow, and probably Friday, I guess. Still be playing Breath Edge. Strikers, P3, sometime in the future.
Oh.
Nah.
All right. Cool. Do some shout outs.
Absolutely. As always, a big thanks to JP and Zeke, and a huge thank you to Danny. That was awesome today. Really appreciate him coming on. That was pretty phenomenal. My name is Ko. Hi, nice to meet you. I'll be back this evening around 6:30 p.m. ET. We're going to start with some Curse of the Dead Gods, and then probably some My Time at Portia, if I can pry myself away from Curse. Then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET, we'll be back for more Loop Hero. We'll probably do Loop Hero as we go into the weekend. If we do end up finishing up Loop Hero, maybe some Persona 5 Strikers, maybe, and some other fun stuff as we go into March. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If I don't see you tonight, see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET for more Loop Hero.
Cool. Well, look at what they said. Danny, thanks for coming on. If you guys already don't support NoClip, check it out, patreon.com/NoClip, or just go check out their videos. If you head to twitter.com/NoClip, they'll have all the proper links for you guys to do so. I'll be checking out Loop Hero right after this here in like 5 or 6 minutes. They both talked it up. I'm interested to jump in and see if I like it as well. They said all the right things. I think I'm going to. Then we'll be playing that for about 3 hours. Tomorrow, Sips has convinced me to download Call of Duty and play zombies. I've never played the zombies mode before. I don't know what to expect, so I guess we're going to see how that goes. We'll be starting a little bit earlier tomorrow than normal at 11 a.m. Eastern in the morning, and then probably more Loop Hero after that. And then
You got the right one this time? Got the right game?
I did. I made sure I bought the right one because I bought the wrong one earlier because they're all full price. Thanks, Activision and Call of Duty. I hope you enjoyed my $120 that you got this morning. Christ. And then this weekend, as usual, we have our Final Fantasy 14 raids, if that's something that interests you, at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday and Sunday. That'll do it for Drop Frames. Thanks everyone so much for watching. We will be back next week with another episode, and still got more games to talk about because we've been not caught up for like 2 or 3 weeks now. So we'll do all that and more next week and cover all the latest and greatest news at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. We're out for now, though. See you guys next week. Have a great rest of yours. Bye-bye.